Hey YouTube, Dan Ottawa here, the best 3rd/4th tier Pokemon Go battler in the world, coming at you with teams for Ultra League Premier Classic. So for those of you who don't know the schedule, got up on the screen there, October 25th to November 8th is Ultra League and Ultra League Premier Classic. So Ultra League is just your regular level 50, including legendaries. So I'm not going to talk about that because it's always been around. What I am going to talk about is Ultra League Premier Classic because that is no legendaries and only level 40 Pokemon. So it's the first time we've seen this one in a while, which I'm going to go over the rankings and then I'm going to give you some team suggestions. Also note that the Halloween Cup, despite the Halloween Cup being a 1500 CP and the Ultra League being a 2500 CP, are running at the same time. And the Halloween Cup goes to November 2nd, which is another week from now. So I put out a video yesterday, I'm going to link it above, about the team that I used to get to Legend. So you still, if you don't want to play Ultra League and you want to try and grind to Legend, that's still a good team to use. So go check that video out. But let's get into rankings and team comp. So let's first just start with the rankings. What I want to do here is start with Pokemon that you would normally see in the top 20 and then talk about the ones that are different. So going down the list, Swampert is at 3 and 6. Venusaur is at 9 and 14. Togekiss is at 13. Machamp at 11 and 12. Snorlax at 16. And then Sirfetch'd and Escav were debatable. I don't think they were top 20 before, but those Pokemon are go-to top 20s for Ultra League Premier Classic in the past, and even Ultra League, even up to level 50, they were top 20 Pokemon. So most people have them. Most people know how to use them. I would expect that a lot of teams will have some mix of Swampert, those that I just named, Togekiss, Swampert, Machamp, Escav, to a certain extent, Snorlax as a safe swap. So those are your common ones. Let's go through the new ones. So Trevenant, again, this thing just, talk about shaking up a meta, just jumped to number like 2 in Great League and is now number 1 in this Ultra League. So it will depend on the candies that you have and the type. I think that there's enough out there that you will see them in this. And most of my teams I try to build to deal with that. Sylveon is another one where pretty much everyone should have it now because it was a community day move with Psyshock, and getting number 2 on there is huge. Sirfetch'd, I love Sirfetch'd. It's a glass cannon. Hits super hard, super fast. Has a Brave Bird for a nuke, Leaf Blade with nice coverage for Swampert. That you'll take that matchup as long as you stay ahead on energy. And then Escav is a nice counter user in this. That's not a Machamp that just doesn't get destroyed by Charm. Like, right? So if you want to counter use it that doesn't get destroyed by Charm, like Heracross is on here at 10, and Machamp is at 11 and 12. So those are good counter users. But if you want to counter use it that doesn't get shredded by Charm users, Escav is your answer. Nidoqueen at 7 and 8. Again, this is a Pokemon that everyone probably will have. What's gonna be interesting is the CPs that you're and HPs that you're gonna see. I guess more CPs that you're gonna see on this, because the optimal, like Trevenant. So I have a 0, 14, 15. I have like a 99.9. It's like one of the top ranked Ultra League. But that's when it's excelled. It goes out to excel to like 44 and a half, something like that. So to actually get like a level 40, or if somehow you can get Best Buddy before then, which is, you can by the end of the week, but if you want like a level 40, you are looking at like a pretty like normalish 10. I don't know the exactly, you'd have to look it up, but it's like a 10 attack, right? So what's gonna be interesting to see is if people just power up what will be their level 44 and a half best ranked Trevenant, or if they do have like a good one for this one, power that up and then power that one up later. Again, it depends how many candies you get. You need a lot of candies, right? Especially if you don't trade it. So keep that in mind. Nidoqueen, again, as your Sylveon and Togekiss and Grambull's at number 19 too. So those are your Charm users. You need an answer for Charm users. You have Nidoqueen right there. Plus Nidoqueen has some other coverage on these other Pokemon against fighters as well. Venusaur, I'm not going to go over too much because you know what it does. It's mainly Swampert deals with Swampert the best, and Machamp to a certain extent. And then Swampert is your main sort of like spammer for Escav and probably Nidoqueen and just general spamminess. Snorlax too. Snorlax is a good safe swap. Goodra at 15 is an interesting one because is essentially a better Dragonite, right? Because Dragonite was, I actually put my first team I put in here was Empoleon Double Dragon, Empoleon Kingdra Dragonite to see does it hold up in this. And between like the extra like Sylveon now, which is so high up, and Trevenant and stuff like that, it doesn't hold up. It does not have a good rating on PVPoke. So you may see it because it's still like a strong team, and if you depending on your level and what Pokemon people have, you may see Empoleon Double Dragon. But Goodra is a nice dragon type user, but also has that Power Whip coverage move. So that's why it's so highly ranked. Snorlax is just a great safe swap in general. Gorgeist, don't know how to pronounce that. That is the other pumpkin one evolution. It's another, looks like a ghost there with a Seed Bomb and Shadow Ball. So sort of like Trevenant. I'm guessing the same sort of typing and coverage there. Honchkrow, I tried to develop a team with this. I don't know if I put one in there. It's really nice because it has those snarls for, let's say, ghosts, but it also has like a Brave Bird nuke for others, and it charges pretty fast. It is very glassy. I've used it in the past, and I have one built, so I may use one for a team. I'll just play around with it. Shadow Gramble is just a really harder hitting charmer than Togekiss and Sylveon, just a little more glassy, I think. And then Meganium is kind of like a nice Venus, is a worst case Venusaur. You have it for the Earthquake coverage move that you wouldn't have on that Venusaur only has the Sludge. So you're trading Sludge for Earthquake essentially, and a little more bulk on Meganium, but I think Venusaur is still the way to go. So I tried to put together 5 teams, and I tried to put it together without Trevenant, right? Because I don't know if you'll have them. So the first one, I'm building around a Shadow Swampert because, again, I've done like 5-10 videos on Shadow Swampert in the Great League and Ultra League. It's a beast. So I wanted to build it around that. Like you can see, it has some great coverage in the top end there, losing to obviously your grass Pokemon. So covered it, a flyer, Pidgeot. So Pidgeot, again, I have like a level 50 Pidgeot, and then it only tops out at 2400. So the fact that Pidgeot is so highly ranked here, even at level 40, surprised me a lot. It surprised me a lot. Like, so you can also put in like other Starvor, or Honchkrow. Like, you can throw in another flyer here. So cover your grass weaknesses with a flyer essentially, and then Muck again as one of the best safe swaps because you can deal with Trevenant and you can deal with Togekiss, like that, and it deals with your grass as well. So that's team number 1. And again, with all these teams, so I put these teams out all the time, just kind of playing around with PVPoke, but I always adjust based on what I'm seeing in the meta. So if I run team number 1 and I'm seeing a ton of, what's this team week 2? Like Swamperts. Like if I'm just seeing straight Swamperts and not as many Trevenants, I'm going to adjust my lineup, right? If I'm seeing Trevenant, Swampert core, then I'll adjust there too, right? So that's how I kind of do these teams. Team number 2 is Sylveon, Gallade, Snorlax. So Sylveon was the best charmer in this league, so I was like, okay, how does that compare? And look right there, like you still have all your fighters, Surfetch, Machamp coverage. You have your Dragon coverage with Goodra and Dragonite and Obstagoon for your Dark, Gallade with your half fighter there. So that's great. You obviously have your weaknesses. And Nidoqueen is your biggest one, and also those who sort of resist that. So I covered it with Gallade because Gallade was a great safe swap, but it also covers those weaknesses there. So as you see down the line there, and then Snorlax as like a second safe swap for this team. Again, doesn't have a great matchup against the top 20, but you're not focusing Snorlax specifically on the top 20. You're using it just more as like a safe swap. And Snorlax main obviously is fighting, but Gallade and Sylveon should do well against that. So cover your weaknesses there. Team number 3 is this where I start getting to Charizard and Fires. So I think Fires are going to be one of the best in here. I think I got a Typhlosion one next because you have look what your top 3 of your top 4 are: Trevenant, Sylveon, Escav. So Burn, Trevenant, and Escav and resist Charm and Sylveon. So that's why I think Charizards and Typhlosions to a certain extent are going to be seen a lot, quite honestly. I'm probably going to start with a team that looks like this around Charizard because I think it is going to be a beast in this league. Obviously, the main weaknesses are going to be water, so Swampert, Dragonite to a certain extent too, so I threw in an Abomasnow to cover there. So you got down the board, and then I was just kind of messing with teams, and I'm like, okay, Swampert is the best here. Again, it depends how you want it, because if you look down, Machamp, so how I do it is okay, like core, 2 Pokemon, Charizard, Abomasnow. And then I work my way down. I'm like, okay, Machamp is a double weakness, Gengar, and Lapras. So the Pokemon that dealt with all 3, while I also like if you look at Abomasnow against Surfetch'd and Escav, where it's like the colored in circles, that means you have a terrible, terrible matchup. So you also want to sort of cover those to a certain extent. So that's why Swampert does pretty much all the coverage of those down there. So if you can replace a Pokemon that can deal with those others as well, that fits the bill instead of Swampert. If you don't have a Swampert or you don't want to use Swampert twice, that's how I would go about. Just play with PVPoke to see like what Pokemon you have that has the most coverage for those Pokemon. And then this one I'm going to go around Typhlosion because again, Fire I think you could see has so much coverage of the top 20. And then cover your weaknesses of the Fire again. I'm going to cover it with the Dragonite. So cover my Machamp, cover my Swampert. So you there. And then Escav I wanted, because Typhlosion is okay to hit. I was looking for a counter user essentially, and I didn't want a Machamp because Dragonite's already weak to Charm, Fairy. I keep saying Charm, but it's Fairy. It's a Fairy type Pokemon that only use Charm. So it's weak to Fairy, so I didn't want to use Machamp or Surfetch or anything. So Escav was the best counter user, which also has sort of wide range coverage. Being able to throw either bug or flying or ground. And then the last team is I built around Nidoqueen here. So Nidoqueen, Gyarados, Gliscor. So I started with Nidoqueen because it's a top 10 Pokemon. I was like, okay, obviously you got your Charmer taken down. Decent coverage against like the fighters, Venusaur, Snorlax. So Nidoqueen has a lot of play. Trevenant, Swampert, Escav, like already 3 of the top 5 Pokemon are weaknesses. So I paired it with a Gliscor in the back end there. And then that still left a weakness to Swampert. So I paired it with a Gyarados. You can also pair it with like a Lapras to a certain extent. I was playing with Lapras. So just like a water type Pokemon that can deal with Swampert is how I essentially play this out, because I think Gliscor and Nidoqueen Core works, and then you just need either a safe swap or something that can just hard punish a Swampert. So yeah, those are the 5 teams. Because I've already hit Legend, I will be just trying new teams for Ultra League Premier Classic so that I can give you guys a ton of different showcases on how different teams work. So I'll try I'm probably going to start with like a Charizard team just because I think that Fire is going to be really, really strong in this meta, and Charizard has been a beast for a very long time in this meta. So I'm going to start with a Charizard team, and then we'll go from there based on what I'm seeing. So good luck. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe if you're new to this channel. Go check out my Halloween Cup video that got me to Legend, and I will see you guys in the next one.